I have a project I'm going to be working on today. It's this shadow box here. My daughter bought this for her son. He has a certificate he's going to put in the bottom, and he's got a flag that has flown over the Capitol that he wanted to put in the top of it. And here's the flag that has flown over the Capitol that needs to be put in the top. The problem is, you can see it's way too big to fit in the box. So my daughter asked me if there was anything that I could do to this one, or if I could just make another one. So I decided that it would probably be easier to just modify this one than to start over from scratch. So I'm just going to cut the top off of this and build a larger box to hold the flag and attach it to the top of this. So we're going to see how that goes, and I'll let you see how it goes. I'll start by taking the stuff on the inside of it out. It's got some pieces on the side that hold the glass in, so I'll remove the glass. Now I'll take it to my table saw and cut the top off of it. And I'll rip 3 pieces of plywood the width of the shadow box. And I'll take and cut some angles on the ends of these pieces. The flag that was supposed to be in this shadow box was for a 3x5 flag, but the flag that he's getting from the Capitol is a 5x8, so it's a good bit bigger. So it's going to have to be modified a good bit. For where the pieces join on the top of it, I'm just going to butt them together. I'm not going to bother angling them. They'll join together a lot easier if they're just butted at the top. So now I'm just going to use my nail gun to nail the edges together, starting here with the 2 pieces at the top of it. And then I'll nail the bottom on. Now I'm going to rip some pieces to go on the front of it around the inside edge to hold the glass in place so that the glass doesn't fall out the front. The glass will be put in from the back side, and this little strip I'm cutting now will be fastened to the front edge around the triangle. It's a very small piece that goes around the edge. I have to be very careful around this blade to make sure I don't get my fingers. I've been doing woodwork for 40 years probably, and so far I've been fortunate not to have any accidents. Now I'll take the little strips that I just ripped and I'll mark them to the exact length that they need to be. So now I'll cut them at an angle, and then I'll fit them around the inside edge. Now I'll just apply a little bead of wood glue, and I'll spread it with my finger. I've tried lots of different devices for spreading glue, from spatulas and sponges and brushes, and I've found nothing that works quite as good as your finger. Now I'll just apply some clamps to it while the glue sets up. Now while I'm waiting on the glue to dry, I'm going to rip some pieces to go inside the triangle part to hold the glass separate from the back. This little strip here I'm cutting now will go between the glass and the back part. And it'll just be stuck in there around the edges. Now I'm just cutting it to length. I'm just kind of temporarily fitting these in here. Now that I got all those cut and fit, I'm going to mark off the back. I'm going to put it on this piece of 1/4 inch plywood, and I'm going to trace off the inside and cut it out. I'm marking the inside because this back piece will actually fit inside the back of it. We'll go all the way up until it hits those blocks on the sides. Now I'll do a little sanding on these edges to sand off the glue now that the glue is fully cured. And just sand it down good and smooth and get it all even. Now I'll just spray paint it black. It's going to take a couple of coats of paint to get it completely covered good. This is a little paint station that I've set up in my shop, so if it's like too windy outside to be trying to spray paint, I'll paint in here. I've got a vacuum hose hooked to it that sucks all the overspray and the paint fumes out, so it works pretty good for painting inside my shop. thing about spray painting, you just have to take it slow and not put too much on at one time, or else it'll run. It dries pretty fast, so you can go over it several times. While the paint's drying, I'm going to cut out a piece of plexiglass for the front of it. It's a lot easier to fit plexiglass than to mess with trying to cut real glass, so I'm just going to use plexiglass. And I use the back to draw off the triangle. And I'm just going to cut it the exact size with my bandsaw. Now I'm going to attach the triangle that I've just made to the top of the shadow box. I'm just going to attach it with some small screws. I've already pre-drilled the holes and countersunk them. Now I'm going to take the back off of it. It's got some little clips that hold the back on. Some of the screws were a little bit tight in the clips. They wouldn't turn right, so I was loosening them up. And then I'm going to take the glass and the insides out of that. Now I'm going to take it all outside. It's a little nicer now. I can paint outside. So I'm going to give it all a second coat outside. Now that the second coat has dried, I'm going to put the glass in and then put the little spacers behind the glass around the edges of it. And that'll keep the glass pushed up tight against the front. And then I'll place the flag inside and then put the back on it. I've already attached the little clips around the edges, so I just have to turn them to where they'll cover the back. And then I'll put the glass in the bottom and put the little spacers on around the sides that hold the glass tight up against the front. And then I'll put the back piece, which has the certificate on it, and then attach it with the little clips. They just rotate and it holds the back on. I had a couple of them that were a little bit too loose, so I had to tighten them up just a little bit. And there it is. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, just hit that subscribe button below and you'll be notified when I put out new videos. Thanks for watching.